Good evening. I don't know what to really say to you tonight. It's a bit of a gloomy subject, unfortunately. A few people have been asking me, um, what happens if, we all know what's going on in the world today. What happens if Mr. Putin over there decides to push the big red button? Um, and how do you survive things like this? And they said, well, you know a little bit, Mick. Do you know anything about it? And I said, well, so rather than going through several times to different people, I said, I'll do a special. A bit gloomy subject, but we'll try to explain things. The first thing to remember is this. If it descends into what they call MAD, mutually assured destruction, is basically if someone launches one lot of rockets, they used to launch it back before they're destroyed, and both of you are wiped out. That's why it's called MAD, and it's called mutually assured destruction. If something like that happens, whether they let you know or not, I don't know. I really don't know. Many years ago, I remember that the local post office in the little village I was brought up in had air raid sirens from the last war, from World War Two. And they used to test them every so often. But I don't think we have them anymore, nor do we have like a civil defence that we used to have in the 50s, 60s and everything like that. So I don't know if you'd get to know anything, or if you did anyway. I mean, to me, if he suddenly realised what was going on, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to stick my head straight between my legs and kiss my ass goodbye, to be quite honest, because there's not a lot I could do. However you thought we're looking at the doom and gloom, you thought, well, I'll see if I can survive it. Okay, right. Here's the things to remember. One, you need to be low to the floor. Yeah, underground, bunkers, basements, whatever you can. You need to be down out of the way. You're going to get a big blast, a big light. Don't look at the light. I know it's doom and gloom, isn't it? But in Nagasaki, people were walking around with literally their eyeballs on their hands like this, because the blast actually popped their eyeballs out. So don't let the kids watch this. A bit grim, some of it. Right. So you see the flash. Close your eyes. Get down. You're going to see straight through your hand, but at least you'll preserve your vision, hopefully. Right. There's no good bits to this at all, I'm telling you straight. I'm not going to sugarcoat out. Right, so the blast comes next. If you're close to it, just don't bother, because you've gone. Right, so the blast is going to fly over you. Don't stand up, because it's going to come back. Okay, so it goes over your short head, you pop up and you go, hey, and it's gone again. Right, I'm trying to inject a bit of humour on a very dark subject. So from that side, stop down there at least a day. Now, radiation is basically when something hits the earth, it drags all the particles up of soil into the sky, they become radioactive and come down. Now, they might not do that. They might decide, right, okay, we'll just give you an electromagnetic blast, which is up in the sky, which just knocks out anything electrical. So that's your batteries and cars. You're not going to be driving anywhere. You're not going to be on your computer to listen to this waffle anyway. So from that side, that's your best hope. They just do that. It doesn't hit anything, because then you only get a little bit of radiation, but it isn't lifting the soil up and it's scattering it all over the place. So you've been down there a day. You need a bug out bag. Which is basics for survival. It's not like the living dead. Don't go grab yourself a machete and think that you can go out there and it's going to be... that ain't going to happen. Get yourselves basics. Baked beans. Things you can eat without cooking. Because you're going to struggle to find stuff, because not many places sell matches nowadays. So you need a lighter or a striker. A striker is what you make flame from, again from survival shops. A knife, preferably a multi-tool knife, so you can open tins, things like this. Water is good, If it's in a bottle, if you do survive and you find water, if you open the bottle, rinse all the crap off the bottle first of all before you open it. The stuff in the bottle should be okay. Anything that's in a tin or inside something that's sealed, that'll be fine to eat and drink afterwards. Your chances of surviving, they are brilliant, but if you do manage it, well done. People from the countryside pretty much know what they're looking for if they're looking for native things to eat, things like that. It'll all be covered in radioactive dust. So, unfortunately, you know, you're going to have problems with radioactivity and things like this afterwards. But if you can survive about a year, you know, you've got a fair chance of carrying on there. There are going to be survivors, don't get me wrong, there will be survivors. There's been people in Hiroshima that were 100 metres from the actual original blast that survived. So it all depends on what comes, what happens and everything like that. The best thing is that could happen is the generals grab hold of him before he pushes any buttons, whacks him round the head and tells him he's been a very silly person. You know, I've got a friend, not a friend, an acquaintance actually, has been showing me pictures live from Kiev. It's terrible. It's terrible. War is a terrible thing, and in this sort of thing, when it must be terrible because it's brothers and cousins and aunts and uncles fighting each other. You know, whoever thought of what a thing like that? That's just ridiculous. Hopefully they can stop this because, you know, Europe can't get involved in it because that would be pushing it towards a nuclear war. So we can't get involved directly, although we have the larger army and the larger air force at this point. We can't do that because you're mutually assuring destruction of everybody. There's only 5 countries that have nuclear weapons. In the UK happen to be one of those. So if you're going to launch something like that, you're going to get it back. So that's not going to happen at all. We obviously see on the news we're sending weapons and things like this, and our heart goes out to the Ukrainians, and hopefully they can hold them off long enough, the Russians long enough, for them to actually see sense and see what the heck's going on. Some of the Russian soldiers, from what I can gather, are surrendering because they thought they were on exercise. Absolutely bizarre. Anyway, so I've told you a little bit about what to expect. Fingers crossed that they all start coming to see sense. It's only one person. Let's hope he sees sense. Or somebody just arrests him or something to stop this. This is absolutely ridiculous. The ground doesn't belong to anybody. We live on a small ball in the middle of the universe. It is for everybody. If all the generals got together and sat round a table, they'd never declare war on each other. They could just discuss it and sort it out that way. And then say, right, okay, anything political, the political people can deal with it. Military, all we will be doing is making sure that it's like a security force for like alien invasion and things like this. But that's it, you know. I don't know, you know, crazy world we're living in at the moment. There seems to be a lot of dafties running things, and they're just making a mess of it for the rest of us. So you have to remember, one final thing is you have to remember that it's not which is unusual for Ukraine. They're rich and famous, are actually getting themselves a Kalashnikov, and they're fighting on the streets with what we'll call the common people. That normally doesn't happen. It doesn't normally happen. Normally it's left to everyone like me and the mugs, you know, common people. We have to get up there, get our guns and go out and fight. But in this occasion, everybody's fighting. I wish you all the best. There's nothing I can really say to sum up how I feel. I've got Ukrainian friends, you know, I've worked with Ukrainian friends. Very nice people. The Russians are very nice people. Everybody, just get on, please. Stop this war. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, bye.